What's up, guys? Back in the garage. It's been a while. I haven't posted very much. We've got COVID going on. We got riots going on. We got the whole nine. That's a whole different fucking scenario. Anyways, so some guys asked to see a video of degreeing in your cam on your 944. I'm not going to get into the basics of degreeing into a cam, but I'll show you how I have it set up. I do recommend, if you're going to do this, watch a bunch of videos just so you get the concept of it. Check it all out. It pretty much, you watch it on one or two cars, it applies to everything. So, most of this, I think I'm under $100 for all the tools that you need for it, thanks to Amazon. So, get yourself a nice flywheel, degree wheel, this one, it's metal, it does everything I need it to do. This is just a coat hanger that I cut and bent. The dial indicator I got off Amazon, and it came as a kit, the magnetic base and the dial indicator. And then this base, I just made it, drilled some holes for where the fuel rail bolts onto, mounted this to it so it gave my magnetic base something to stick to. And you set it up. So you bolt on your degree wheel. The factory crank bolt fits through it, and if you look in the back, I have the factory crank bolt washer, and then I have about an inch spacer behind that, and that was just to push this degree wheel out a little bit so I don't hit your water pump, your case coverings, and all that stuff. I also had to take out, excuse my messy workbench, the adjuster for the balance shaft. It's just the idler, I believe, and the stud, just so I had enough clearance. But no big deal, it's pretty easy to do. So get that on there, set up your dial indicator. You're looking for the cylinder 1 intake, so not that cam cap, your other cam cap. This is exhaust, this is the intake. A lot of guys don't think it's doable. They tell you need a Lindsay cam box that has the hole drilled here for easier measurement and stuff like that. It's honestly, this is my first time doing it on this car, and it was stupid how easy it was to do. So pop that cam bolt off, get your dial indicator in there. You could see down there with a flashlight, you could see the lifter down in the bottom corner here. You're gonna need an adapter kit. This is an extension kit for the dial indicator. They just screw on to the bottom of the dial indicator to extend it. I'm using this guy here. And then I got this adapter set that gives you a bunch of different heads to use for measuring. I'm obviously using the one that's missing. It's kind of like a 45-degree finger. Again, Amazon, pretty cheap. Didn't break the bank to do it. Get your 45 on the lifter. It's too hard to see with everything in place in the camera, but when you look in there, you can see the lifter. The only thing you have to watch out for is that little 45 finger doesn't get caught underneath the cam lobe when you're rotating the cam. So the first time you put it all in there, watch it while you're moving the cam, just to make sure it doesn't get pinched in there. But other than that, it's pretty straightforward. Hook it all up. I already did a lot of the pre-measuring for all this. I had the cylinder head off, a bunch of other stuff off, and I already found true top dead center, which you'll need to do this. And that's really about it. Find your cam center lines and all that stuff. Again, watch the videos. Pretty easy to do. But we'll go over to the cam card. So your cam card tells you how the cam should be set up. This cam should read on the degree wheel 12 degrees at 40 thousandths lift. So what you do is you go over here, you turn your crank over until you read 40 thousandths lift on your dial indicator. You look down at your degree wheel and you see what degrees you're at. This I had to adjust 4 or 5 degrees. You need an adjustable cam gear for that to get it to line up to 12. It's super hard to see, but basically that blue line here, let me go to the side, is where I need to be, and it is. It's just hard to see from this angle. But it's all lined up now. Had to retard the cam timing a little bit to get that to line up. But that's it. And then crank it over a couple times with a wrench and make sure, you know, your measurements are still right and everything looks good. And that's it. That's how you degree it. And it sounds stupid, but it makes a big difference. It's going to change your power band and your RPMs based on where that's timed. So you want to make sure all this lines up right. Otherwise, you could have a crappy, you know, mid-range power band. It's all top end or real low and cuts off up high. So you really start playing with things when you do this. But it's pretty straightforward. I almost want to say it's easier than I expected it to be. You know, there's a lot of stigma around it of, you know, it's really hard to do. You can't do it, and you can do it. I'm not a race engine builder, but this is pretty basic stuff. Sure, did I have to sit down and think about it? But anything like that, you're going to have to. But it's pretty easy to do. But just make sure you have a cam card before you do this. Otherwise, you don't know where anything's supposed to be set up, and you could run into some problems. And also remember, I adjusted that 3 times just because I wanted to do small increments. This is an interference head, and I didn't want to make any errors while I was measuring and wind up damaging something or whatever. So I made 3 small adjustments before I got to where I needed to be. So I would always say go smaller before you go and screw something up that you cannot fix. But that's it. It's pretty basic stuff. I should be back on the road soon. I've got the RS Barn Stage 2 camshaft in there. I've got my adjustable cam gear. I've got my racewear head studs installed. I've got my head back from Joshua that's been ported and has bigger intake valves. So I'm looking forward to see how this thing performs. If you have any other questions about this, specifically for the 944 Turbo, drop me a message. Find me on Facebook. Either way, I can help you out, and it's not super complicated stuff. You just got to remember to take your time doing it. And that's it, guys. Hopefully, I'll be on the road soon and taking this thing for a rip and seeing what it could do. Thanks a lot.